everyone. I hope you are doing fine from wherever you are watching from. Now, today I will want us to discuss the reading culture in Africa. Now, the reading culture in Africa is so poor. I have interacted with few people in Africa, and some told me that the reason why Africans do not read is simply because they cannot afford to buy books. I find this argument baseless because how much money do people spend taking others for dates? How much do we spend in buying internet bundles to gossip and engage in chit chat online? How much do we spend in outings, clubs, bars, restaurants? Name them. You have the answer on the amount that we spend. But how much do we spend in buying just one book every month? You have the answer. Now, few people sacrifice their coins for books, and their justification priority is that enjoy your life when you are still young. So they spend their money in luxuries. They spend their money in entertainment. It's very interesting. Do you know that one does not need to have money to develop a healthy culture of reading? We have free online libraries. We have free books. We have free public and private libraries within our communities. But it is surprising how few people visit this institution for the purposes of reading or even checking out books that are available in the shelves. Now you understand that the problem is deeper than money. It is a question of attitude and interest more than affordability. There is this life lesson that I find is very worth sharing. The story of a rich father-in-law who on the wedding day presented the young bridal couple with the gift of a Bible. The newly wedded young couples assumed that the Bible was just another normal Bible. So they placed the Bible on the shelf and never got to open it. Now, years later, they started having financial issues. And unknown to each of them, the father had inserted an envelope inside the pages of the Bible. The envelope had a letter stating how much wealth the father had allocated them. And also it had a check. The value of the check was such that it could comfortably have provided for all their financial needs for many, many, many years to come. But it is unfortunate that for many years, the couple did not open the Bible and so did not discover the hidden treasure of the gift that they were given by the father-in-law. It was only many years later that the father was disturbed by the couple's lifestyle. Then the father demanded an account of his wedding present. One can imagine the wonder, surprise, shock, and regret that followed as the now old couple reached for the dusty book on the shelf and finally retrieved their wedding present. The story is a moral lesson to many of us who consider themselves educated. They stopped reading the day they graduated from the university. Another reason why we do not read is because majority of us are very lazy. The 21st generation kids and young people do not read anything outside their prescribed course textbooks. They have a lot of time to watch television programs, and by implications, watching TV and videos does not consume time in the same way that reading does. So the current generation argues that they can watch all stuff that are in books if only it could be presented on TV or in video form. This is a strange argument. It is very interesting. Unfortunately, it represents a real shift of interest in our youths. The modern generation is characterized by a desire for everything that is easy, comfortable, and exciting. This is a generation that detests hard work. And they argue that unless that translates into fun, it makes no sense to them. Unfortunately, for most people, reading demands that they sacrifice, they delay gratification, they become disciplined. Just the thing that our young people generally want to avoid. Who among parents of teenagers has not heard the now old familiar claim, being bored? Our youths are bored by everything around them. They are bored with the food we eat in our houses. This food bores them. They are bored by the friends we keep. We bore them when we insist on doing certain things in a certain way. In short, everything that is not in their style or taste is boring. And that includes even reading books. So, watching TV and chatting on social media is easier. It requires less energy for them, less effort, is less demanding, and therefore less boring than having to take up a book and patiently read through it. The sad thing about all this is that very few of the programs that appear on our TV sets are meant to instruct, build, or construct. Only few or only a small portion of these programs can be said to be educative. Unfortunately, a greater percentage of these programs add nothing to an individual's growth. We must admit that not all books are informative and educative either. It all depends on the reader's choice. One may choose to read a useful and constructive book, a book that may contribute to their reader's growth and character, or to read some useless materials which may not add anything to his or her general readership or education. The reader has the choice, the liberty. But this liberty is, however, lacking in the case of the TV shows, whereby audience has little choice to make as far as the programs are concerned. The TV viewer chooses which one of the programs on air he or she will watch at a given time. That is the extent of his or her freedom of choice. The decision on what to watch is based on what is on offer, at what station, at what time. The book reader, on the other hand, may decide what type of book to read, when, for how long, how many times. his or her choice is therefore more real, more deliberate, and more meaningful. We have so far avoided alluding to the contribution of the school in producing a reading culture. A student who has been through school for 8, 12, 16, or even several years, name them, should surely have learned one thing: how to read. How is it then that after so many years of study, many students graduate from primary, from secondary, or even from university, have not developed a reading culture? I can only find one explanation for this reality, and that is the fact that our schools are not interested in teaching students to read. It is well known that our schools, most of them at any rate, exist for only one reason, one simple reason: to teach students how to pass exams. As long as the students are doing well in the exams, most teachers feel that they have done their job and that they do not owe their students anything. The teachers, therefore, make it their business to ensure that the students read their textbook for the purposes of passing that particular exam. Now, if we know anything at all about teaching and learning, it is the fact that students always try to live up to the expectation of their teachers. If teachers expect much from their students, they will normally get much. If, on the other hand, they expect little, then they will also get less. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all need to read books. Although reading good books has many advantages, but today I will only focus on one of them. And one of the most important reasons for reading books is the desire to add to our existing knowledge. Books are very powerful information tool through which ideas, opinions, and attitudes are shared, transformed, and disseminated. So today, ladies and gentlemen, most people take books for granted and so fail to see a good book. So I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to take a solemn step and inculcate the culture of reading in your family, among your friends, among your colleagues, and to yourself. And trust me, you'll never regret. Because as philosopher normally says that what determines your success is the types of books that you read and the type of people that you interact with. Otherwise, thank you very much. My name is Amos Onyango. I'm wishing you a lovely evening, lovely afternoon, and maybe lovely morning to those who are in the mid-morning hours. Thank you.